Hi, this is Chatterboxing. I'm Sean. I've got my man Monnie Brown from America with me today. How's it going, mate?
Yes, sir. How you doing, Sean?
Yeah, we're just going to talk about a few bits and pieces. We're going to preview the Deontay Wilder, Bermaine Stiverne. We'll talk about the return of Tyson Fury, and I'm sure we'll probably touch on a few other things as well while we're on it.
Yes, sir.
So let's get started with the Deontay Wilder, Bermaine Stiverne. Much everyone is writing off Bermaine Stiverne in this fight, probably because of what happened in the first one, probably because he's been so inactive,
Right.
posing any kind of threat at all in this fight to Wilder, or is it a foregone conclusion?
Now, when I look at Stavern, like we know the heavyweight division, all it takes is one shot. That's boxing in general. But we know the heavyweights, what I'm saying, they got a tendency to hit harder than other fighters. But that's what I always say, Sean. I say Wilder the one that dethroned Stavern. You know what I mean? So it comes to like once you got a fighter like Stavern, Stavern can fight, man. People overlook him sometimes. They look at him and look at his record like you say, yeah, he been inactive, so they ain't really been seeing too much of him. They seen him hit the deck, but almost every heavyweight hit the deck. But once you're going up against a man that dethroned you, that's like extra motivation for you to try to get your belt back. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And then like I say, Stavern the only man that survived Wilder power as well. You know,
yeah.
so he probably looking at himself as what adjustment I can make to go back into this fight and do a little bit better. You know, it's always that one, like we can tell, Stavern want to get back at Wilder. It's been kind of personal for a while with Stavern. You know what I mean? It's like Wilder wonder why you hate him so much, but you dethroned the man and you knocked him off his high horse. So I give him a shot in a fight. I don't pick him to win a fight, but like I say, all it takes is one shot. But I don't pick him to win the fight. I got Deontay Wilder winning the fight. What's your
Yeah,
take on it?
well, I think that Stavern is a pretty good fighter. I don't think he's exceptional, but he's decent and he is dangerous. I just think that
Facts.
I think stylistically, he's just got the beating of him going into
Facts.
the fight. And at that point, like Wilder hadn't really been tested. He hadn't really fought anyone as good as Stavern. But I still thought that the fact that he was just so long, tall, he's quick on his feet. I mean, I watched the first fight back the other day. That's probably the best I've ever seen Wilder look.
I can agree. I can agree. I say let his
Really,
hands go in that fight as well.
yeah, he was literally. He was. I mean, he was just sort of hitting him with the right hand and just sort of stepping off. Like Stavern was kind of. He was almost like slipping and dodging, but like when he was out of range, and he kind of like sort of slip a couple, but they weren't even punches, and then he sort of just walk straight forward and get hit.
Right?
He'd never get close enough to Wilder, and any time he got close enough to him, Wilder just put the tight guard up,
Right.
sort of cuff him around the side of the head. He never really managed to. Even he tried to get him in the body a couple of times, but Wilder was just too quick on his feet for him, and the time it took for him to get there, he was just able to protect himself.
Yeah,
So
I
I
agree.
just think it's quite difficult for Stavern. Of all the, if he was fighting Anthony Joshua, or if he was fighting, I mean, styles make fights, don't they? I just think that Deontay Wilder, like 99 times out of 100, is going to be a very, very difficult fight for Stavern. Possibly that's why he hates him so much, because it was quite
Right.
frustrating for him.
Right.
I
I can
mean,
agree with that.
he was like walking him onto some big uppercuts as well. He really did look good, Wilder. Like since then, he hasn't really done that. He's had quite a few. He's struggled with quite, I wouldn't say poor, but like mediocre opposition.
Right. But you got to take in consideration
Drew apart.
he injured himself in those fights as well. One fight he broke his hand, and the other fight he had a torn rotator cuff, I think. So I don't take away from his performance. Like I say, he can always do better, but I feel like those injuries kind of held him back from probably performing to his best. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I do think like that the style of Stefan, the fact that he's so much shorter, the fact that he doesn't have the reach, the fact that I just think Deontay Wilder's got all the time in the world to just tee off on him. He does
Yeah,
have like
I agree.
those sort of the right hands and he's got a very good jab when he wants to use it.
I
And
agree.
he's pretty good. So it's Wilder's fight to lose, isn't it? Really, the
Yeah,
only thing I would say is that I don't really know what his mentality is going into it. And Joshua, I said to you, because obviously we had like not an argument, but a little bit of a kind of disagreement about like
right.
he's whinging and moaning, and I mean, he seems like everyone's against me. Is he overlooking Staverne? Do you know what I mean? Or is he?
I think it's kind of some of it is frustration. That's why I say when you're up here and you got the media in your face, then you got the fans saying one thing, and then you're trying to prove a point yourself. It can be frustrating. It can be a lot on the man's shoulder. He only human, but it's like at the same time, I understand what you're saying as well. Like all those things could play a part into the fight where you say you're in a peaceful state of mind, but you can go in and, like you say, not overlooking Staverne, because I don't think you overlook Staverne. I hope you don't overlook Staverne, because Staverne working hard. I'm checking them out, but um, looking a look farther ahead of, what I mean, letting the media play a part of it for us. You fight Anthony Joshua, and you still got Staverne to deal with. Anthony Joshua got his mandatory out the way, so he a free man. So it's on Deontay Wilder to do what he got to do in the ring. So the talks could continue about him fighting Anthony Joshua. But yeah, I understand what you're saying though. Like your head can get blowed up, but like I say, man, I just feel like it's frustration setting in. I feel like you want to prove a point to the people and to the fighters that he is the best heavyweight in the world, but he can't get the opportunity. You know what I mean? He can't get the opportunity. Every time you get the opportunity, there's always some type of drug usage or, something always in the way. I think that'll frustrate any man though,
Yeah,
especially in this boxing game. You don't get too many chances. It ain't like basketball or football. So
yeah.
yeah,
But it's not. I mean, it's not even just Anthony Joshua. Before that, it was Luis Ortiz.
right.
So quite a lot of people on his mind apart from Staverne. Staverne's someone who's already beaten him once. Staverne's been inactive really for since that fight. He's had one fight against someone who, no disrespect to him, but it's not on the level of Wilder.
Right.
So everybody's looking at this as, oh yeah, he's just going to go in there, and it's just a case of whether he does it more impressively this time than next time.
That's
So
what I'm like.
there is a possibility.
Go ahead. Go ahead. My bad, son. Go ahead.
Sorry, mate. There is a possibility that he gets a bit complacent and just thinks, well, all I've got to do is turn up. And obviously, as you say, Staverne, he's been working very hard, and he really dislikes Wilder, from what I can see.
Yeah.
The motivation that could even work in his favour. The fact that he's been so inactive for 2 years, he might just have total tunnel vision on Wilder.
Yeah.
Which could be good or bad, but literally going into this, my whole life, my whole boxing life at least, it's just
Yeah.
completely focused on getting one back, getting my own back on Wilder, basically, which is dangerous. He's obviously a
Yeah.
hard puncher.
Yeah. And
He's
you
tough
gotta
as
look
well.
at it. He can look at it as this is last shot at the title. You know what I mean? Because you got
Yeah,
Joshua there, you got Tyson Fury coming back, but you got Deontay Wilder. It's like your name already not that big in the heavyweight division. So it's like it's all or nothing with him. So how do we
yeah,
go in? How do we perform? Like you got Dylan White there. It's a lot of fights that's coming up that's gonna have opportunity at a title. So it could be his last shot at a title. You know what I mean? I won't write him off saying it will be, but he can have that type of mentality. You know what I mean? Like you say, to just put it all on the line at night. It's like it's all or nothing. So
and
one thing
and obviously,
no,
sorry, mate.
no, I'm just gonna say one thing I think though. I don't think Deontay overlook him because he know you can't overlook no man in that boxing ring. It's especially like you say, a dangerous man like Staverne. Like I say, Staverne, he's still a dangerous man because he could punch. He got combination. Like before Luis Ortiz, I was looking at Staverne as one of the, I ain't gonna say one of the complete boxers, but one of the best heavyweight boxers in the game. Because Staverne, he can jab, he can go to the body, he can do those things as well. He can throw combinations as well. But like I say, I don't think Wilder will overlook that. I think he anxious. I just think he anxious to get in the ring and to prove a point. But I just hope he ain't over anxious. You know what I mean? To go in and just, and forget about the little things. But like I say, the Saturday on the way, so we will find out.
if you were Bermaine Stiverne, what would your tactics be for this? Because obviously Wilder, really, he just needs to do what he did last time.
Yeah, and
Before it did work,
yeah,
so
Stavern got to find a way on the inside. He can't sit back, like you say, he can't sit back and let Wilder dictate the pace. He can't just walk right in to punches and not throw. He got to throw with, even though Wilder the longer fight, he got to find a way to throw with him. He got to, like I say, he got to attack the body, and by them being heavyweights, you just got to make, he got to make it rough. Like you can't let Wilder sit back and relax and get comfortable in the ring. You can't do it. Like even if you look at the Gerald Washington fight, Gerald was trying to bring it to Wilder, and he had success. You know what I mean? So what he got to do, he can't sit back and just let Wilder get comfortable. Like you say, let him get off. He go throw, but he got to find a way on the inside. That's got to be his game plan. Find a way on the inside, make Wilder smother his punches a little. You know what I mean? Where he can't get full extension on the power of his shots, and he got to try to make it a rough and tough fight. And that's his only chance. Because if he can't get in the inside or make it a rough and tough fight, and Wilder stay on the outside and tag him all night, he go run into something, and he might go to sleep.
he's the only person that's fought Wilder to go 12 rounds.
They go 12 rounds.
So he's going into this like knowing, like, because a lot of people, obviously, you know, a lot of us sort of take the piss out of Wilder and say that he's, you know, windmill and he's this and that. But everybody going into it must know that, like, you don't want to get hit with one of those punches.
Yeah, at all. But one thing about Wilder, they said it windmill, but it's only when he hurts you, when he get wild. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
no, that's true.
yeah, before he hurt you, he'll stay composed and try to stick to his fundamentals. That's one thing about him. He stay composed. Like
Yeah,
it's hard to get him out of his style. But when he
yeah.
hits you and he hurts you, that's when he just go to like a Tasmanian devil or some shit. I'll be laughing myself.
Yeah, he smells blood. He just goes all out, doesn't he? But what I'm
Yeah,
saying is, like, people kind of, you know, a bit, but everybody knows that he's got a serious punch on him. Bermaine Stiverne's gone 12 rounds with him. He's taken those punches, and he was still
right,
standing. He must
right.
be going into this. Do you know what I mean? I've taken a lot of his punches. According to Stiverne, he was like, what does he say? He was dehydrated. He wasn't in the best state.
Right.
I don't know whether that's true or not. I don't know whether he believes that himself.
Yeah, I think it was an
But
excuse. Like I said, you had a full training camp. You weren't dehydrated. That was just an excuse. He had a full training camp.
but he's going into it thinking, like, this bloke isn't that scared. I can take these punches. Yeah, he outboxed me. I think, like, Jared Washington, to me, he looked like he was shitting himself.
Yeah.
He looked really scared. Like, he was, like, really sort of timid with his boxing. Even, like, the build-up to the fight, you could just see he was quite intimidated. He didn't really fancy it. But most of us not going to be going in there thinking that, is he? He's going to be thinking, I've taken...
Nah, like Bermaine Stiverne, he a confident man. You can tell. You can tell by the way he talk. And like I say, he ain't afraid of Wilder. You know, he ain't afraid of Wilder. Like I say, he took the power, he took the punches. It's just about him watching the fight over and just seeing him making the proper adjustments to see what he can do better. You know, and I just feel like when you look at the fight with Stiverne, it's like I say, Wilder, he was getting off on him, but when he hurt him and he put him down. But after that, that's when you saw Stiverne. He started trying more, but at the same time when he was trying, he was just walking into shots instead of trying to set up shots. I think he got to try to set up shots this fight. You know what I mean? So if he going in with just the mentality of I took the punches and that's it, no, it ain't gonna be good for him. He got to go in and really look at that fight and make the right adjustments. You know, but like I say, he been waiting for this fight for a while. Evidently, he's seen something when he rewatched the fight that he can take advantage of, and on Saturday we'll see.
The inactivity of Stiverne, because he's been out of the ring for 2 years, or even more than
Yeah,
that. Even is it 2 years? I mean, he's
it's
fought
been.
one like journeyman who was like a bit past his best or whatever. He's had no real preparation, has he, for this? It's a big.
I mean, I think Wilder had mentioned that in the press conference call. Like it wasn't that he didn't want to get Stiverne a shot. He said he just wanted to he wanted Stiverne to really have like you say, come back and have the proper fights, so he can have be in fight mode instead of just coming back and being inactive and fighting a man that was active. You know, so
Yeah.
yeah, that can play. Like I said, that always play a part. It doesn't matter what a fighter say. He ready. We know ring rust is real. You know what I mean? That is proven over the facts. Ring rust is real. So I felt like he should have took another tune-up fight before this fight. But he feel like he ready. He a man. He signed a contract. Like I say, Saturday on the way. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like someone, probably Don King, pulled a few strings. I mean, it's ridiculous, really, isn't it, that Stiverne is the mandatory, having done absolutely nothing like since the first fight, which he clearly lost.
Yeah,
But
I
it is
feel
what it
like
is.
it's boxers that did
Obviously,
more than him.
confident.
But you know
Well,
the politics of boxing. If you try to break down the politics of boxing, man, you'll be trying all day. It get frustrating.
yeah, this is not the first time that someone's become a mandatory challenger, and we've thought, what the is going on here? Do you know what I mean?
Right,
This happens
right,
all the time.
right.
But unfortunate in the sense that he's never fought a mandatory challenger. I know he had the thing with like Povetkin, unlucky, but he's kind of got the spotlight on him, hasn't he? In terms of like who he's fighting, definitely like mandatory challenges. So
Oh
people have
yeah.
tried to blame it on him, really, that Stiverne is a challenger, which is obviously a bit unfair. But
I mean, that's how politics work.
you know what I mean?
You know, that's how it work, man.
What's your prediction then for this fight? What do you reckon is going to happen?
Really looking at it, man, I feel like somewhere around the 7 or the 8, I feel like Wilder get the stoppage. I see a KO myself. I see a KO around the 7 or the 8. You know, I feel Stavern coming in. I feel him trying to figure him out, but I feel like he gonna make some mistakes in this fight. And I feel like he gonna make some mistakes in this fight. I think he gonna want it a little too much. And I feel like Wilder go catch him with something and go put him out. So I got like a 7 or 8 round KO.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a stoppage again. I think the first fight was not again, sorry, this time because the first fight was quite one-sided, really, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So I think this time, because everyone thinks Taverne's going to lose, because he's been so inactive, I think he's going to take a bit of a beating, really, for like he's fucking tough, Taverne. I mean, you can't take that away from him.
Right.
At some point, like the ref's just going to step in and say, "All right, mate, that's enough." That's what I
So
think. That'll probably be around like 8, 9 rounds. Like
okay.
I don't see it going to. I think Wilder's going to really step it up. I don't think he's going to want to go 12 rounds with him again.
Yeah, I think he
I
had
think
a
he's going
point
to
to
want.
prove. So you got TKO?
One thing I would say though, I certainly wouldn't rule out Wilder getting stopped himself. I'm not saying I think it's likely. I think it's very unlikely, but it's definitely a possibility. Because if
I
he
mean,
goes in
it's
there,
always a possibility with heavyweights.
yeah, but
All it takes is one
especially in
shot.
this fight with the dynamics of it, because I think if you put into the equation the fact that Wilder can quite easily just sort of like bore everyone to death with like a sort of back foot, just outboxing easily. He could do that.
Yeah,
He's not going to do that
he can get, but Wilder can get complacent with throwing punches as well. Like he can
and get carried away. He does.
yeah, because he get to looking for the one big shot. You know what I mean? He forget to throw the jab out
He
there,
does.
and sometimes he can move a little bit too much and let the next opponent come up on him. But like I say, you always got the equalizer. Like you can whip Wilder for 11 rounds, 2 minutes and 59 seconds, and he can hit your ass in that 1 second and knock you out.
Yeah,
That's the type of power we carry. You know what I mean? The power
but there
is
is a
real.
possibility he gets carried away. He's thinking, Staverne, I can beat him easily. He's no real. I want to put on a show. I want to sort of send a message to Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury, and just kind of get a bit carried away. And Staverne, I mean, he's a fucking good counterpuncher, isn't he?
Oh yeah, but
I
I
mean,
don't think
he's obviously got power.
that's overlooking your opponent. I don't think Wilder come in overlooking. I think he respects the
No,
burn. I think he know in the heavyweight all it takes is one shot. You know, so if he come in and
yeah,
get complacent like that, to where he just like you're not respecting your opponent, and for a skill wise, yeah, something go wrong. I mean,
I
yo,
don't think like I
go
wouldn't
ahead.
say like not respecting him. I just think getting a bit carried away with all the stuff that's going on at the moment. of, because he's always like talking about Anthony Joshua. He was talking about Luis Ortiz. He's interviewing, like he's been interviewed on Fight Hype, Boxing Voice. He's very vocal. He's clearly, you know, wanting to make a name for himself and establish himself as a number one. So there is a possibility that he gets a bit over exuberant. In my opinion, I don't think it's likely. I don't think it will happen, but it's definitely a possibility. So if I was a betting man, I'd say that Wilder like TKO, late TKO. But I certainly wouldn't rule out him getting, if he does, lose his rag a bit.
So you giving Stiverne a shot? That's what you're saying?
I give Stiverne a shot because I wouldn't, under normal circumstances, I wouldn't do.
Right.
But because of the sort of circumstances surrounding this fight. I mean, one thing I would say is that reputations generally are earned, like, well, not generally, they're earned from your past behaviour, aren't they? Wilder now has had nearly 45. Now, he's a lot more experienced than he was when we see him doing all this stuff. Do you know what I mean? So he's learned quite a lot from that before, and like maybe that sort of style that we're associating with, getting carried away, start like windmilling and swinging. Maybe he's now, as he's getting on to, like, you know, I wouldn't quite call him a veteran, but he's been in the game quite a long time, hasn't he?
Oh yeah, he's a veteran. You can't deny that. But the level of competition, I feel like it can be better. But the heavyweight division, it don't have too much competition in it. You know what I mean? It's not like they stack with A-level fighters. You know, there's not that many A-level fighters in the heavyweight division. You know, it's like we probably can count a handful, and a couple of them get busted on bullshit. You know, so
okay, yeah, at the top level, I agree, but now people blame Wilder for like stuff that's happened like in the past, don't they? That's basically what happens. Your history stays with you. Like, he hasn't really fought the best people in his own country, from what I can see. He hasn't fought. I mean, for whatever reason, he hasn't fought like people like Bryant Jennings, Chambers, people like Shannon Briggs. I'm just sort of off the top of my head.
Yeah, you trying to break up the best in America. Yeah. You got Jarrell.
He fought Dominic Breazeale. I mean, Andy Ruiz. There's quite a few sort of competitors in America. He's never fought any of them.
But the names you name, the names you name, it's like they want. It's not they wasn't that big time. Don't get me wrong. They did deserve a shot, like you say. Brian Jennings, he got the challenge against Klitschko. You know, he fought Ortiz, so he is a credible opponent. He beat Mike Perez, so it would have been a good scrap. Brian Jennings and Deontay Wilder.
He beat Spilka before Wilder, and he gave Klitschko a pretty good fight.
Yeah, no doubt. That's why I say he gave Klitschko a hell of a good fight. You know, but it could have been two sides of the pond. Like, promotion companies, man, it's like if they moving Brian Jennings in a good direction, they saying good things. And we knew at the same time too, Wilder, he wasn't really bringing in money. You know, so sometimes when promoters got fighters, they want to protect their fighters, especially over here. You know what I mean? It's not like in the heavyweight division, you get beat. You might be down for you might have to fight 4 more fights to get back to a top position. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I'm looking at it from a UK perspective, where generally, like, we love nothing more than domestic fights.
Right.
So generally, as you're coming up, you fight all the best people in your country first, then in Europe, then in the world. Now, like, in terms of heavyweights right now, like the best sort of heavyweights in Britain are pretty much world level.
Yeah.
Fight like Anthony Joshua fought, you know, people like Matt Skelton, Dylan White, Gary Cornish. I mean, all the sort of people around. Like, he didn't fight obviously Tyson Fury, David Haye. They were like beyond him. But anyone who was around that kind of level, who was up for fighting, then he would fight. I kind of way of looking at it. So maybe America is a much bigger place. Yeah, it's more of an international style.
Yeah, it's international. So you still got good competition at the same time. That's why I say if you look at Anthony Joshua's resume, you look at Deontay Wilder's resume, it ain't too far apart. You know what I mean? Like I said, if you look at Joshua's resume, you go when you take Klitschko out the equation, you can almost say it's even for us them the top level competition they face for us.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
But
even
if you compare,
go ahead.
Sorry, go on.
No, I was gonna say though, Klitschko didn't want no Porter Wilder when he tried to fight him. High risk, low reward at the time. High
But did
risk,
he
low
make?
reward. So,
But did he make any offer, like any sort of a serious attempt to fight? When he first got his belt, his manager said that they didn't. There were unifications to come later, and like there was no rush. He needed to develop, which is kind of why like a lot of people are like saying now that they're seeing like Wilder. That's why like people, for example, like in the UK, kind of thinking, well, when Wilder was like he was coming up, he became world champion. He didn't want to fight Vladimir Klitschko. They said he wasn't ready. He needed more time.
no,
And
that's
now you've got
false.
Anthony Joshua.
Wilder always wanted Klitschko. Klitschko wanted no part of
No,
Wilder.
but that's what the manager said. That the manager of Wilder said that.
Who, Lou DiBella? No, Al Heyman is the
But
manager.
no, I can't remember. I saw the thing. It was in the I saw the article. It was in where's he from? Tuscaloosa, is it called?
Alabama. Yeah, Tuscaloosa,
Yeah,
Alabama.
there's a local paper. He came out and said that. That was when he first won the title. And then since then, obviously Klitschko being a unified champion, he's got like mandatory. It gets a bit complicated, doesn't it?
Yeah, but
But when he
I have to see
first,
that article.
yeah, no, look it up. Look it up. He's the manager. But I don't believe that they made any effort to fight Vladimir Klitschko. I think like there's people say, "Oh, in interviews, I do this, I do that." But as far as I know, there was never any attempt made. There's never any offer made to Vladimir Klitschko. Vladimir Klitschko probably never made any effort to fight Wilder either, except that.
But we know in that situation, it doesn't matter if Wilder make an attempt to fight Klitschko. It's all about if Klitschko want to fight Wilder. We know Klitschko was the A side. Like Wilder can say he wanted to fight Klitschko all he want to. If Klitschko wasn't making the effort to fight Wilder, the fight would never happen. You know what I mean?
But Wilder wasn't. But there's
again.
a difference now. There's a difference now with how he's like trying to fight Anthony Joshua. He's had 20 fights with how he's trying to fight Vladimir Klitschko. Now you can say he's just at a different stage in his career. Stand on that, but still, he wasn't like sort of pursuing Vladimir Klitschko in the same kind of way he's with Anthony Joshua.
Who would you consider more dangerous? Would you consider Anthony Joshua more dangerous at this time, or would you consider Klitschko more dangerous when Wilder, if you say Wilder wanted to fight him, but he said he didn't want to fight him, which one would you consider more dangerous? Klitschko or this Anthony Joshua?
Well, first of all, like let me make this clear. I'm not for 1 minute suggesting that Deontay Wilder personally didn't want to fight Vladimir Klitschko.
No, I know what you're saying. You're saying the manager said it.
Yeah.
No, but
I think Vladimir Klitschko.
Which one would you think would be more dangerous?
Vladimir Klitschko, because at that point Wilder didn't have as much experience. He'd only really fought Bermaine Stiverne. Since then, I mean, the 5 voluntary defences, they haven't been great, but they've been sort of decent level. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Not bad compared to the people he was fighting before. So I think at that point, Vladimir Klitschko was still, he was still on top. I mean, when Tyson Fury beat him, he was still on top. When Anthony Joshua beat him, he'd obviously been out of the ring for a while, he just lost. He didn't have quite the same aura that he did when Fury beat him.
Yeah, when
Wilder first became champion, back then, like Vladimir Klitschko was on top of his game. And just the experience he had, he'd been in there with everyone. He'd been in there with like big punchers before. He'd been in there with people who were like quick. He'd literally seen it all. Would have been dangerous. I think Klitschko would have been more dangerous.
But Wilder was dangerous for his reign.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I feel like they spar with each other. Wilder was a sparring partner. But like I say, you say the manager probably said that, but I believe Wilder wanted him. I believe Wilder wanted him. I heard it in his voice. I think he wanted to fight with Klitschko. I just felt like Klitschko felt like at that time it was high risk, low reward. He was getting nothing from it, Even though, like you say, Wilder was who he was, he became in a heavyweight division. It really wasn't steaming like it is now. You know what I mean? Like Wilder did make a statement, and it was kind of coming back. You know, and Klitschko was at a point to where it's like, why would I fight him at that age he was at, where I can make X amount of dollars fighting this guy, and it's a lower risk than fighting him and making lower amount of dollars. You know, that's all I looked at it as. But I feel
Yeah,
like, you know, and not saying Klitschko was afraid of Wilder. No, I ain't saying he was afraid, but at the same time, business wise, it probably made more sense to fight this guy for who less
of course.
dangerous for more money than fighting him that's high risk for less money.
I think, of course, like Wilder wanted to fight him. That's why I think it's ridiculous. All this stuff when people saying this particular person, this fight. I mean, if he was scared, he wouldn't be a professional boxer, would he? If he was like
Yeah,
scared to fight
yeah. That's why I say I don't like
you
to
know what I
say
mean?
no fighter is afraid to fight no fighter. I feel like it just be the position that you in. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And like I said, if you got a
yeah, of
team,
course.
you got to listen to your team at the same time. You don't want to make it like you're going
Yeah,
against your team just so you can, you know what I mean, make this fight. Even though the fight should be made, it's still a team that you're behind. You know what I mean? You can look at Floyd Mayweather. Everybody wanted Mayweather to fight a certain fighter. It didn't happen. You know, you still got to listen to your team at the end of the day. You know, so I understand the business part of it. You know, that's why I'm saying boxing as fans, we're not gonna always get what we want at the time we want it.
yeah.
You
I
know, but
think Mayweather.
we can push for it. We can push for it. We can damn sure try it. But that don't mean we gonna get it.
I think Mayweather, but he was like pretty much by the time he'd had like 30 fights. I mean, I wouldn't say he had nothing left to prove. Any good people that when it got to the point where people were saying, "All right, now he's scared of this bloke. Now he's got to fight this one," it became just ridiculous. Do you know what I mean? But someone like Wilder, who hasn't really got that, it's different. Do you know what I mean?
Well, I was just saying. I wasn't saying for us. I was just saying in general. Like, if you got a team to listen to, like Floyd Mayweather got Al Heyman, Leonard Ellaby, and plus he's his own boss, his own promoter. But I'm just saying, like, if you was my promoter, understand, like if you was my promoter and you had a direction for me, but it was a fighter that the people want me to fight, and I'm telling you, man, I want to beat his ass, but you like, no, we're not gonna rush into it at the moment. I don't want to go against you and you my man. I mean, you my team, and you feel like oh shit, you supposed to. You know what I'm saying? We together, but I'm gonna give you what you want. But at the end of the day, I still want to make sure I'm following your direction as well, because you my team. You know what I mean? So you don't want to just disrespect who you riding with. So I can understand that as well. But the fight go happen. It gotta happen, and that's Joshua and Wilder.
Yeah, it's going to happen, mate. There's nowhere to go in the heavyweight division. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe.
Joshua's not going to become like a sort of cruiserweight, is he? Or sort of go up to super heavyweight.
Or no, I saw they trying to make a super heavyweight division, but no,
All right,
there's nowhere to go.
speaking of super heavyweights, let's move on to the Gypsy King.
I know you're going to, yeah. The Gypsy King is on the way back, man, and I'm happy he's coming back. Like I say, I
Yeah,
still got.
100%, mate. Do you think he
I know.
actually he will?
No, I have to say I got Tyson Fury as still a king over in the UK until he
Yeah,
get
me too.
dethroned. Yeah,
Me
but he
too. I
got
mean,
he got some work to do, man.
yeah. I mean, I support both of them. I like Joshua. I like Fury, but Fury was like the number one. He's the one who
Yeah.
went out there to Germany, beat Vladimir Klitschko. I think
Although
Joshua.
I picked Joshua to beat Fury, though, I do pick
You
Joshua.
think Joshua beat?
Yeah, I got Joshua beating Fury, but
You
I feel
think
like
Joshua beat Fury
yeah,
if
I
he was
do.
100%?
Yeah, I do, and I got my reasons because I feel like if Fury try to sit back, I feel like if Fury gonna try to sit back on Joshua and try to do him like he did Klitschko, I really believe that, but I don't think it's gonna work because Joshua is young, he energetic in the early on. He could gas out. Don't get me wrong, but I just feel like Fury, he got a good one too. He got a good jab. He know how to use the ring, but I just feel like the aggression of Anthony Joshua can get to him. Like I don't think Fury can do that against Joshua what he did against Klitschko. I don't think Joshua just go sit back, you know what I mean, and let him dictate the pace.
No, but Tyson Fury can fight very well on the inside as well.
Oh, no doubt. I saw his game in
And
the inside, no doubt.
he can switch southpaw as well. You know what I mean? I think he can really. you saw the movement of like Carlos Takam. To be honest with you, I think that.
Yeah, but Takam, Fury taller than Takam, so I don't think Josh will have to try
Yeah,
to
but he
figure out
can
how to
do that
throw
sort
his
of.
punches down.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but he can
yeah,
sort of do that sort of Vitaly Klitschko style, like leaning back. You saw that he's doing like
yeah.
Vladimir.
Change up his height. Yeah, switch up his height.
I think Deontay Wilder, like you got Joshua Klitschko and Fury. I think out of the three, I think Joshua would beat Wilder easier than Fury. I think uh, Wilder would have an easier fight against Joshua. And I
Against
think like
Joshua.
Fury, like Wilder is a harder fight for Fury than Joshua.
Okay.
I think Fury, I think is the best, but I think Deontay Wilder, he's a very dangerous fighter. I think obviously Joshua is as well, but I just think Joshua with his lack of endurance and his,
Like, but you
I
think
think
he ain't got enough experience? You don't think?
doesn't have enough experience. He doesn't have enough endurance, and
Okay,
I wouldn't say he's like one dimensional. He's got a good boxing brain, but I just think
yeah,
Fury could like kind of keep him like, move him around, and then he can on the inside. I think Fury's like naturally a lot bigger than Joshua. Joshua's
that's
muscular.
true.
He's like quite pumped up.
That's
Kind of
true.
like wrestling on the inside. People underestimate the weight and the natural size of Tyson Fury. I think that's
Yeah, I
going to
saw
really
that.
tire out Joshua.
Right, and one thing I saw that Fury did in the Klitschko fight, he didn't let him lean on him. Like he never gave him a
No,
chance to lean on him, because Klitschko got that bad. Like he'll grab you, he'll lean you down, he'll weigh you down, and he'll wrestle
yeah,
you. And while you're trying to wrestle him, you'll be losing energy, and that's where he can tire
yeah.
you out as well. But he never can do that to Tyson Fury, and that played a part on the weight that you're talking about. So I know what you mean in that part. Like you're not gonna out wrestle him. You're not gonna out wrestle
No,
him,
so
but
I
that's not
don't see.
Joshua's style.
It's not his style, but I think Fury is like sort of clever and he's like Joshua came up like literally just blasting through everyone because he's a
Yeah,
powerhouse.
right,
I mean, he has got more strings to his bow, but he just came through literally blasting everyone out.
right.
Learned that much ring craft along the way, and
That's right,
he started boxing at like 19 or something like that. I mean, he progressed very quickly in the amateurs. He went to the
right.
world
Gold
championships. Like
medal.
with, he's obviously very, very talented, but I don't think like Tyson Fury has basically been boxing since he was a kid. He's been in tougher fights. He hasn't beaten like that level of opposition as easily as Joshua has along the way. So he kind of picked up a lot more, knows his way around the ring better. And I think that if Joshua can't like get him out of there in the first 5 or 6, not 5 or 6, but early on, I don't see him being able to like sort of last very elusive. If Fury's
Yeah.
fighting Wilder, it's basically dangerous throughout the whole fight. I haven't seen him tire. Haven't seen him. I haven't seen the intensity drop with him. I think if Wilder fought Joshua, I haven't been convinced really by Wilder's defence. To me, he seems wide open. Whereas like
Right.
Tyson Fury is like naturally quite minded. He's quite elusive. You know what I mean? So I think he
Okay.
can. That's why I think I don't know, mate. I want to see all these fights. And one thing I would say as well, I don't want to be like, oh well, if Fury loses to Joshua, now that's him out of the equation. Or if Wilder loses to, or if Joshua beats Wilder, do you know what I mean? I want to see them
No,
all fight
no.
each other.
Yeah, I know it's a
You
triangle
didn't say,
thing,
oh
right?
well, Joe.
But you know how I looked at it?
Yeah, no, nobody said.
I felt like Tyson Fury come back and get him a tune-up fight. I feel like if Wilder was to fight Dylan White, if they make the fight happen, and if Anthony Joshua get him another fight, I
Yeah,
remember you had a conversation where we was talking about that, like Eddie Hearn won't risk putting Anthony Joshua in a fight with Wilder before he put him in with Tyson Fury because of the money wise. So I would
yeah,
say I want mine. I want mine. Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua going at it. But then I was looking at if Wilder was to fight Joseph Parker, if they can swindle that fight to happen, and then the winner take on each other. You know what I mean?
yeah.
I feel
Okay,
like
well,
that'd
you're
be a
on it.
nice look.
What do you think of Joseph Parker?
I like Joseph Parker, but I think he's the weaker link of them all. I like his style, but I think I think
Yeah,
Andy Ruiz gave him a hell of a fight, but I feel like all the top. I feel like Wilder, Joshua, and Tyson Fury beat Joseph Parker.
yeah. I think, to be honest with you, I haven't seen the Carlos Takam fight. More faith in Joseph Parker to have a better fight with Anthony Joshua than I did before.
Yeah,
I think Joseph Parker is very quick on his feet. He's got a good chin, and he's probably the one person in the heavyweight division who's got faster combinations
that's
than
true. But
Joshua.
I don't know. I feel like I just don't see him getting past those three. I don't know for some reason. I don't know. Like I like him. Don't get me wrong. I feel like he can fight. You know, he's a champion. But I just feel like I don't see him getting past none of those three.
Have you seen Daniel Dubois? He's a heavyweight we've got
Oh yeah,
upcoming.
yeah, yeah. I'm very
He's
impressed with him. I'm very
yeah,
impressed with him. I like how he places punches. Yeah, I like him. Who
he's
did he?
someone that we got very high hopes for over here.
Oh yeah, Dane DeBois. He just had. Did he just win a fight?
Yeah, he fought. I mean, the first round. I mean, he's just destroying everyone so far. He's only
Right.
had 5 fights.
Five
Everyone he
KOs.
fights, he's
Right.
just blasting them out.
First round
I
knockouts.
think, yeah, first round. You can see every time he throws a punch, it just
Yeah, I
does
mean
serious damage.
the punch placement. I say, man, he a monster. Yeah, I like him. I got him on my Instagram page, Dane the Boss. Yeah, I like him. I like the other kid as well.
He's only 20. He's only 20 years old.
Yeah, but I got another kid over there too that I like. I ain't gonna get his name at the moment, but he nice too. I think he heavyweight. I think he
Who's that?
sparred Anthony Joshua. He sparred Anthony
Daniel
Joshua.
Dubois.
No, it's not Dane DeVore. Well, that's the one that sparred Anthony Joshua. Then I like him, but it's
Yeah,
another guy. It's not Anthony Yard. It's another one.
heavyweight.
Yeah, heavyweight. I think he was Eddie Hearn.
Uh, we've got well, there's obviously it's Dylan White. There's Dave Allen,
Now I know Dave Allen.
uh, Joe Joyce,
You know what? He might not be heavyweight. You know,
Lawrence.
I get his
I mean,
name.
Lawrence Okolie.
Yes, yeah, that's his name. Yeah,
He's
he
cruiserweight.
heavyweight, right? Cruiserweight. Okay, yeah, I like that kid too.
Cruiserweight.
Yeah, cruiserweight. I like him. Yeah,
I'm saying he's like the British Deontay Wilder
yeah, I like that kid. I like him. Got
because
power.
he's got that sort of style. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah. I got
while
some.
we're on the topic, let's 'cause obviously most of my viewers on here are from the UK. Tell
Okay.
us who your favourite fighters are from UK, and I'll tell you who my favourite
Anthony,
American fighters are.
um, Anthony Joshua, one of them.
Yeah,
I like Anthony Yard. Josh Kelly. Now that's gonna be a special kid. Josh Kelly.
Josh Kelly. Ah,
Yeah.
mate, yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
I know he talk a lot of smack, and I know people don't like him, but I look at him as the age. He like a little age of Brown over there, but he just lost to the one guy, man.
Ah, yeah. The O'Hara Davis.
O'Hara Davis. Yeah, I like O'Hara
Yeah.
Davis. You know he
I
talk.
love O'Hara Davis.
Yeah, I like him.
Yeah.
But you know, I always gotta say Joe Kozaki. Gotta put him in there. Can't leave Joe out.
Yeah,
But he
I
just
mean, for me, him and Lennox Lewis are the
sorry
two
about
best.
that. Had a call. Sorry about that.
So,
Yeah, but Joe Kozaki. Um, we just saying. We just.
yeah, well, I meant right now. Like, so you've got people. You've got who are out now.
I'm having calls. Damn. Yeah, but
Oh,
no, okay. I know Kate Taylor. She's from Ireland, but she's still one of my favorites. So I
Kate
gotta
Taylor.
put in
Yeah.
there. Love Kate Taylor. Um, Cole Frampton, even though he Irish. I like a lot of fighters from over that way. I like a lot of fighters. I'm in tune. I'm in tune.
You sound like you know your stuff. There.
Yeah.
I've got I'll tell you my favourite American fighters at the moment. In no particular order. Terence Crawford.
Crawford, the man.
Crawford is, for me, people laugh at me when I say this, but he kind of reminds me of Tyson Fury in a way.
Terence Crawford.
Now yeah, I mean he's different, obviously, but he's got that sort of like that sort of versatility that you just don't really know what to expect from him. Like you
Right.
can't.
I mean, he can go southpaw. He can go orthodox.
He can fight on the
I mean,
inside.
he don't.
He can basically out.
That's number one pound for pound.
He can outbox you from range, or he can
Right.
come in inside and just sort of rough you up like that.
Rough
He's
you
got
up.
that kind of. I like it. He's got a good fighting spirit about him as well. He's
Yes,
just, for
sir.
me, he's got everything. I really like Errol Spence.
Yes, Earl Spence. He had to come
Annoyed me
over.
when
He had to come bring the
yeah,
belt back to America.
yeah. I mean that wound me up a little bit, but I like him. I like his style, I like his demeanor, his attitude.
Yeah, he a
I
cool.
like
He a good dude.
yeah, and he's the I was saying to you the other day, the thing that impressed me from because in the build up to that fight, I was saying that I don't know if he was going to be able to the jump from fighting in front of like 5,000
Uh huh.
people,
Right.
playing in front of 30,000 people against Kell
Right.
Brook, a
Right.
step too far at that point because I know how good Kell Brook is.
Right.
So him to come over and do that the way he did it, I've got to take my hat off to him.
Yeah. And it's but the
I
same
respect him.
the same to Kell Brook. I like Kell Brook as well to come over here and to beat Sean Porter and it had the
Yeah,
fans going against him. So you got to get Kell Brook credit as well. You know, I
yeah,
like
yeah.
Kell Brook.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's one who doesn't get enough credit.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, to be honest, mate, as much as obviously we've got all this rivalry going on, I do like Deontay Wilder.
Yeah.
I
No
like
doubt. I mean, you only
I
stand
like
up to it
Jarrell
because you're
Miller.
supposed to. Yeah. Or Big Baby Miller talk a lot of shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's one of my favourites.
Yeah.
I like him as a personality, but I think he's a very good fighter as well.
Right. To be that big and he got the most punches thrown in the heavyweight. Like to be that big, he the most active puncher in the heavyweight division.
Hmm.
You know, so it's like that's crazy.
And
He got the most
he's quite
output.
fluid with his movement as well.
Yeah, yeah.
I
So
mean, that's what
I want to see him in a big opportunity too. I got to see if he for real or he just mouth. So
I think he is, man. I think he's a natural fighter. I mean, he's obviously had a kickboxing career. I was talking
right.
to someone. He said he's seen him doing he's seen him take some serious like kicks in the head, never flinched. He just looks like a. I was saying, like, he looks like the kind of bloke. If you got into like, if you had to have a fight with him, you wouldn't even bother trying to punch him. You just kick him in the balls.
I
But
wouldn't
that
even try to
look,
fight
do
that big ass dude. Yeah, he just too big to
you know
try
what
to
I mean?
fight.
You just kick him in the bollocks, wouldn't you?
Hell
You
yeah,
wouldn't even try and like, punch.
I'm picking up a pole or something. You need a
Yeah.
weapon
So
against him.
he looks like he can. I mean, sometimes looks can be deceiving, but I
Right,
would
right.
suspect he can take a good punch.
Yeah,
And when you've got that sort of relentless work rate, and I'd like to see him against Wilder.
yeah. Me too. He called Wilder Beyonce Wilder.
Yeah,
So yeah,
yeah.
you know him and Wilder they sparred.
We,
You know they sparred before and
yeah,
but they both got different stories. You know Wilder say he kicked his ass. Big Baby Miller say he put it on Wilder. So you
yeah.
know the tale won't be told until they get into the ring with each other.
Yeah, but Miller's like, a lot more improved now since then as well. I mean, if the competition that he's fighting at this level, I think it's quite good. I mean, he just fought Washington in
Yeah,
his
that was a
last
good
fight, which is,
fight.
I mean, that's a good level for. How many fights has he had?
Oh, I mean, that's a hell of a good level for him to fight. I mean, if he good for Deontay Wilder, he good for Jarrell Miller,
Yeah, yeah.
and he had a
And
full
now he's
camp
fighting
against
Marius
Jarrell
Wack.
Miller. And now he fighting Walk. But like I say, the thing about Jarrell Miller is what he don't know, and what could be a blessing for him is him getting experience on the way up instead of trying to jump right into, a big caliber fight. Because like I say, you can have all the skills in the world, man. when you're on that championship level and you're on that stage, and when shit get hot, like, you know what I mean, that adversity hit you is what you do when the adversity hits you. You know what I mean? That's why I gave Anthony Joshua so much credit to get back up and to finish Klitschko. Because, like I said, I was going for Anthony Joshua in that fight. But when I seen them go down, I felt like, I'm like, shit, he looked like he done. Because the way he stood back up is like he had nothing. But for him to pull through and finish Klitschko off, that shows that he got heart and he can face adversity. You know what I mean? When the times get tough, he just ain't gonna give up. That's why I say we gotta see Jarrell Miller in that type of situation to really see
He got
it.
composed.
You know what I mean?
He was very composed as well, like Joshua. You see that he kind of the way he was. He wasn't just like just pure heart. He was actually using his brain in that moment.
And I mean, that's why I say, I like Anthony Joshua. I'm a big fan. You can tell his attitude outside the ring is his attitude inside the ring as well. Like he don't. It's not saying he don't get rattled, but it's like he got the mentality of it's gonna be what it's gonna be. You know what I mean? Like, come on, like you got to kill me for you to stop me. You got to kill me. You know what I mean? Otherwise, we gonna go all night. You know, but that's one thing I like about Joshua.
Everyone who's sort of been around him, all the people in the sort of the GB, like Olympic squad, and all the people who know him from the pros, they will say literally nothing can faze him. You know what I mean? He's just totally calm. He's just got that sort of demeanor. He's just got belief about himself. That's why everyone's different, aren't they? But like you see, he's a kind of person who basically thinks out loud, and he's done that. Like, you know, that interview where he said, I might fight Wilder here, I might fight him then, and blah, blah. And people kind of said, he's saying that he doesn't want to fight Wilder now, he's going to do it then.
Well, I ain't going to say he said he didn't want to fight. Like I say, I heard him loud and clear say he will fight Wilder. I heard him loud and clear. Like, when Anthony Joshua talk, I listen. I just don't look at what he say. I listen to what he really say. And I mean, like I say, I believe him when he speak. I believe Anthony Joshua when he speak. He say when the time come to fight Wilder, if it come down to the money, he'll take a shortcut to make sure the fight happen. No, but like you say, you got a team behind him, and I understood it and I respect it. Wilder, I believe he'll fight Wilder. I felt like I don't want it to happen in no 2020 or no 2019. You know, that's why I say the end of 2018 is the perfect time. It's the perfect time. You know, so. Yeah. They said they're gonna make it happen next year. I'm the type of person I sit back and wait the next year come, and we'll take it from there. I ain't gonna jump to too many conclusions.
He is the kind of person I've watched a lot of his interviews since he turned pro. Basically, thinks out loud like while he's talking. So he'll be almost like discussing different ways of doing stuff. Seems a bit contradictory, almost what he's saying. Do you know what I mean?
Well,
that's why I don't
take. Had a plan.
I don't lean on one particular thing that he says.
I mean, everybody contradict themselves, though. I mean, that's just human, being a human. But when I heard him say, that's why I say when people speak, you got to really listen. You know what I mean? He said we have a plan to get me heard, to get me there. So that's why I say Eddie Hearn, and even though we don't like it, it's still Eddie Hearn fighting. It's still his job as a promoter to say, put your faith in me and your trust in me, and I'm gonna carry you along the ride the right way. For as saying, okay, if you just had this tough fight, I'm gonna put you in these two fights, and then you can go for another tough fight. You know, even though if we had the chance to do it, it'd be tough fights for everybody, and we feel like that's what it should be for champions. But the promoter, they think differently. You know what I mean? Their job is to make sure they fight to get the most money and to make sure they make the most money for themselves. That's why I say that's the promoter job. Everybody say this, like, I got problems against all promoters, but at the end of the day, we got to respect the business too. Like, that's the promoter job, is to make money for their fighter and to make money for themselves. So that's why I say I understand when they say they got a plan, but as long as that plan lead down the road to the end of 2018 for that fight to happen, I'm all right with their plan. So if they want two more fights before they fight Wilder.
So who do you reckon, like, both of them will fight? Because it's not going to happen next, is it?
Yeah,
so who would you like to see Wilder fight after Stiverne if everything goes according to plan?
If everything goes against Stiverne, to be honest with you, I want mine the Dylan White fight. I want to see him fight Dylan White. I want to see the Dylan White fight. I feel like Dylan White has been winning fights. I feel like he has been active. You know, Jarrell Miller has been active. You know what I mean? But I feel like Dylan White probably had the better competition. But I hate to say that because that's why I say I get to contradicting myself. But I feel like Dylan White is in a position to get a title shot. You know, but I feel like
he's been around longer, hasn't he? He's been sort of.
Yeah.
I'd say the competition is pretty similar.
Yeah, I say the competition is similar too. But if you had
like,
to look around and say who name has you been hearing more, you've been hearing Dylan White name more. You know,
yeah, and he is a bit higher up. In the WBC rankings, he is a little bit higher as well.
He is higher, and he a tough competition. Dylan White can fight. Even though I talk shit about him, he can fight. He gave Wilder, not Wilder, he gave Joshua a good-ass fight. He gave Joshua a good fight. I mean, it'll compare. People like to compare that. Like, okay, let's see what you do with him if you do. But the only thing about that fight is it got to happen in America. I don't see.
Dylan White, he'd have no problem going there. Dylan White.
Yeah, I think Dylan White don't have a problem either. I feel like it's just Eddie Hearn trying to pull a card. That's why I say Eddie Hearn, you can't hold all the cards. But I would like to see Dylan White in America. I have no problem with that fight.
Basically, if he fought Dylan White in the UK, it's obviously like going to be more money, and it's for promoting the fight in the UK. But if Deontay Wilder wants to be like, well, listen, I'm the champion. Why should I have to come to the UK for a voluntary defence against someone who isn't?
That's gonna be the story anyway.
I can respect that. I can respect that.
Right, but for AJ, I'm not mad at Wilder have to come over there for AJ. You know, I feel like it's right.
Yeah. I mean, if he chooses to like, no, I'm going to fight you in America because I'm the champion and I'm not going to be like sort of told what to do by Eddie Hearn and all that, then fair enough. Got no problem with that at all. That's up to him. If he comes to fight Dylan White in the UK, it's strictly financial reasons, isn't it?
It'll be financial reasons. But I heard the UK they take more taxes though than over here. I heard you get taxed double times in the UK with you American.
I don't know. I've never made that sort of money, to tell you. To be honest, I've never made like millions of pounds.
Yeah, I heard Wilder said in the press conference. They said, "Well, they tax you in New York," but he said, "Shit, you ever fought overseas?" He said you got to pay a certain fee. You got to pay the 2 fees for fighting overseas.
Well, Eddie Hearn claims that I saw him talk about that in the Boxing Voice. He claims that that's not true.
Okay.
I'm not on that level to be like, you know what I mean? I'm not a millionaire. I'm not a rich man.
Yeah, I'll listen to the fighter. Shit, the fighter one getting a brain tax. Not Eddie Hearn.
Yeah. I mean, cool. I mean, he's got Eddie Hearn. I mean, he has got a reason to lie about it, but at the same time, like a public, is he going to just sort of lie about it when people can easily just look it up and say, no, he may do. I don't know.
Right, it's something we can look up and check into though. So that's like that ain't even a debate. But who would you like to see Joshua fight next?
I don't know. It's a tough one because like Joseph Parker. I don't think Joseph Parker is going to put up with being lowballed. Eddie Hearn, like, he's quite disrespectful.
Who promote Joseph Parker? Who's Joseph Parker promoter?
Duco Events, I think, from New Zealand.
Okay.
And Eddie Hearn, I remember after Joseph Parker fought Huey Fury, Eddie Hearn was kind of rubbishing the whole thing before and just... I mean, this is why a lot of people... He's obviously wound up people in America, anyway, with his kind of...
Yeah. People hate... I see the UK people hate Eddie Hearn, and it's happening... I mean, he's bringing the same affection from the American fans.
I mean, it's not... I mean, I don't hate him. I quite like him, but I do think he's quite disrespectful, quite dismissive of people. And the way he was with that Huey Fury fight... He was sort of talking it as if, like, this is just kind of a load of rubbish and they're not making any money and blah, blah. And then he was talking to Joseph Parker, his stock dropped in the UK. Thinking, like, has it really? He just sort of says all this stuff to try and, like, belittle Joseph Parker and his team and make them sound like they're nobodies and they're lucky they're given. And I don't think Joseph Parker and his team are going to go along with that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like they.
People think
Right,
like
they
New
feel like it's
Zealand.
just too much.
Yeah, New Zealand's a small place, but at the same time, he's got good support there. He's on pay-per-view,
There you go.
sells out arenas. He's got the whole
Yep.
country behind him.
As long as you
So
got the
I don't
country
think they take.
behind you, that's all that matters.
Yeah, so I don't think they take too kindly to Eddie Hearn just kind of, dismissing them, especially like publicly.
Okay.
Don't know how easy that fight's going to be to make because I think they're going to probably think, well, no, we want to build this up as well. We want to make some good money out of it. So
Right.
possibly Dave Hay. I mean, this is all depends on how he looks against Tony Bellew, but that
I
would
think
be.
I think David Hay beat Tony Bellew.
I mean, it depends if his body is still
Yeah,
working.
100. Yeah, if the Achilles is a heel, like I say, the first fight, I like the David Hay aggression. I had him winning. I had him winning before the injury happened, and
Yeah,
then Tony Bellew did what he's supposed to do when you said wounded prey. You're supposed to jump on him. He jumped on David Hay's ass, but before the injury, I had him kind of winning that fight. But it's if he, like you said, it's if he 100%, not even
it,
100%, at least 85%.
he didn't look anything like the David Hay of old, though, did he? David Hay, like with the head movement, the quick feet, the quick reflexes.
No, he was just a
He looked,
straight coming forward, David Hay.
yeah, basically like just sort of big, strong, like trying to like
Strong,
just swing
trying
these
to
big punches.
yeah, trying to out muscle Tony Bellew.
He
But
had
it worked. It was working. It was working a little because he had Tony Bellew going back, so it was
yeah,
working a little bit. But the second half of the fight, I was looking forward to see how the second half played out. Because I'm like, is he going to gas himself out? Because he's trying to go for everything.
yeah.
But
He
yeah,
probably knew he had the injury. He just thought, fuck it, I'll just sort of throw the kitchen sink at him and see how I get on.
yeah, yeah. But
A mandatory situation as well with Andy Joshua. We don't know what that's going to be. I mean, could it be Luis Ortiz?
no, I think
I
Luis
don't really
Ortiz will be
know.
out for a while. I don't think he come back that quick.
But isn't
Yeah, I don't
that
think he do.
the? Well, they haven't taken him off. That they haven't taken him out of the
Oh, you
rankings, have
know
they?
what? And Luis Ortiz did give a tweet. He tweeted something saying he'll be back too. You know what? That's kind of interesting though. But they never, even when Eddie Hearn had Luis Ortiz for that one fight, they never even mentioned Joshua Luis Ortiz fight. Even though I know he's trying to build it up, but I don't know if they're going that direction or not. I really don't think. I don't think they're going that direction.
Oh, no, but if he's the WBA mandatory, then they'll have
Yeah,
no choice.
right. If he the manager, right, they had no choice. But we have to see.
Yes, I mean, I don't know really. I mean, Andy Joshua can pretty much fight anyone, can't he? I doubt
Yeah,
it's going to be. Well, it's not going to be Wilder. I don't think it's going to be Parker.
yeah. I thought of Parker and Wilder. Like I say,
Parker and Wilder would be quite nice to see.
I thought that's why I figured like Wilder. That's why I put that little round rosy in there with Parker and Wilder and Fury and um, Joshua, but they still got to have one fight before they even happen because Fury got to get a tune-up fight. I know Fury not just coming back trying to jump in the ring with Joshua. That'd be a mistake.
Yeah, that'd be suicide.
Yeah, that'd be suicide and end his career.
He's not. I mean, they're not stupid enough to do that. Like him and his team, they're quite proud people.
Right.
They're not just going to be, oh, let's just get it for the money. They want to make sure. Like if you look at like Fury, say before, if we're not in 100% position to win the fight, we're not going to take it. We'll pull out.
Right.
Not sort of the money or to make up the numbers. They want to
Yeah.
be 100% sure that they're going to win or they've got a good chance of winning.
Right. And Fury don't look like he's struggling for money. You know.
No,
We'll
he's all
see.
right. I mean, they've got enough. I don't think he's a particularly Mayweather. Do you know what I mean? Like having a really expensive
Oh,
lifestyle. He's quite
yeah,
sort of
yeah.
David
They don't
Hay.
need that much money to be happy.
He's that kind of character. I think Tyson
Yeah.
Fury, unfortunately, he looks. I mean, he seems to be not that happy quite often.
Yeah.
So I don't think having a load of money is really going to change that.
Right. That's why I say you don't need that much money to be happy. You just need enough to take care of you and your family. And he living good, so he living better than the most.
But it looks like he's got enough money for food at least. Do you know what I mean?
So what other topics we can touch on?
Well, actually, one thing. Yeah, but let's talk before we leave. What about because Errol Spence? We were talking
Oh
about him
man,
earlier.
yeah, Earl. He got Lamont
Keith
Peterson
Thurman.
coming up January the 13th. Earl got a fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, January 13th with Lamont Peterson. Um, Keith Thurman, we don't know what's gonna happen for him. He say he come back around February, so with February or March sometimes. So you gotta wait to see. He gonna take a tune-up fight, even though he got 2 belts. You know, he coming back from the injury, so we gotta see what they looking at for him. And Terrence Crawford, you know, he in the mix of being a mandatory for Jeff Horn belt, the WBO.
Do you think? There's a question I want to ask you. Do you think, because this is not just since the this recent injury in the Errol Spence thing, I had the impression for quite a long time, like talking a long time, that Keith Thurman doesn't really get the respect that he deserves in America. Is that
It's
fair,
not
or is
that
that just
I feel like I can honestly say we the fans is a little hard on Keith Thurman. Me myself too. It's just the point of he get his respect. It's just when Keith Thurman came out, Keith Thurman was Keith Thurman one time. I'll fight anybody. I got an oh, I ain't afraid to let it go. If you can beat me, beat me. To now where you get into the position to where you become the head honcho, but now it's like you doing everything that you're saying the other fighters was doing to you. Like he in a position where he can fight the best, but it's like
yeah,
even though he coming off an injury, and don't get me wrong, he fought the best because he fought Sean Porter and Danny Garcia back to back. But like I say, Danny Garcia is the weaker link than everyone. We know everyone knew Keith Thurman was gonna beat Danny Garcia. People just didn't give Danny Garcia a chance to do that good against Keith Thurman. But it just came down to Keith Thurman and Earl Spence. And you tell us you gonna fight Earl Spence in 2017, even though you got an injury, but now it's like you don't want to answer no questions about Earl Spence when a fight go happen or nothing like that. So and then you run off and you don't even come on the boxing saying you go get married and you stay away for almost a year, however long you stayed away. Then you pop back up and you still don't want to answer no questions about Earl Spence. And I think the people just get fed up with it. You know, it's like now you playing a diva role after you said you didn't like the diva role. So, and people saying Earl Spence gonna do the same thing when he get in the position, but I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
no,
But like I say, Keith Thurman, at the end of the day, he the number one welterweight in the world. Everybody chasing him, and I understand you can only fight one person at a time. But now he see what it's like for Floyd Mayweather. You know what I mean? Or Manny Pacquiao. Like when you at the top and you got everybody calling you out, it ain't fun. You see people coming after you. You know what I mean? When you at the top of the mountain, everybody want to get there. So
interview with
Thurman,
Keith Thurman, and he said he understands that like what you're talking about, the position that he's in, but he's not going to abuse it. Just how he put it, just quite funny.
yeah. But at the end of the day, that's why I say we let him get his tune-up fight out the way, and then we'll see what he's talking about. Because he
Yeah,
got to fight. You got to see Earl Spence.
understand the need for a rematch against
Sean Porter.
or Water,
Sean
unless it's a
Porter, right?
mandatory thing.
I mean, it's a mandatory, but you can have a unification. You know what I'm saying? And let Sean Porter and Danny Garcia fight. He can fight Keith Thurman. He just not trying to see Keith Thurman right away. That's all. And people feel like he avoiding Keith Thurman. Not that he afraid of Keith Thurman, but he avoiding Keith Thurman. And the answer is yes. He's avoiding Keith Thurman. I mean, he's avoiding Earl Spence. Keith Thurman is avoiding Earl Spence.
Yeah,
So it's like,
yeah, I
man,
think so.
yeah, it's like you
Uh,
can't. Go ahead,
I
Sean.
people were saying for years. I remember when said, Keith Thurman should fight Errol Spence, and he was like mandatory for Floyd Mayweather, and he was like, well, no, I'm not going to do that. Like, who's Errol Spence? Like, with respect, I
Uh
want to
huh.
fight Floyd Mayweather. You know what I mean? And he was in a position
Right.
where he paid his dues. He'd fought a load of top contenders.
Well,
Position,
yeah, at that
and
time,
I
Earl.
respect that.
Right.
But people were like saying, "Oh, he's like ducking Errol Spence." Like that's what I'm saying. Like in America, it seems like people have been a bit hard on Thurman for quite a long time.
Oh yeah, the fans, man,
So,
it's a total different ball game over here. It's like, but the thing
yeah,
is, at the time, like I say, when Floyd wanted Earl Spence to fight Thurman, Spence didn't like he admitted himself. he wasn't really proving himself. So, and Thurman was on he worked his way to the mandatory spot, but Thurman was a high risk with low reward. It was nothing for Floyd at that time. Floyd, he liked to fight people that got a country behind them. It got to make sense money wise. But Thurman get that now. But at the same time, Thurman wouldn't have beaten him. He couldn't beat Floyd Mayweather. Like, no orthodox fighter was gonna beat Floyd Mayweather. If he can Philly shell you, and no left-hand fighter neither, but an orthodox fighter he'll have an easier time against. And somebody like Thurman who get wide and that's a boxer, you got a nice little punch to you, but Floyd fought big punches all the time. But that don't mean he didn't deserve his shot if he fought his way to be the #1 mandatory. But
I'm not saying he would.
No, I was just
I'm
saying.
not saying he would have beaten him.
Thurman position.
But
yeah,
you could make an argument that because of Mayweather, because of the career he'd had and all the people that he'd fought, the longevity he'd had, you wouldn't say it. But if it was anyone else, you could say that he basically avoided Kell Brook at that point, at the end, when he was basically he had the only other belt, a country behind him. It would have been like a huge fight, but he didn't want to fight him. Now, I'm not saying that he sort of ducked Kell Brook or anything. I'm just saying that would have been.
Yeah, but Kell Brook name wasn't big. His name wasn't big enough. His name wasn't big enough. It's like Miguel Cotto.
In America, no, I suppose.
Yeah, like in America, Floyd wasn't coming to the UK. So in the UK, it would have been different. Yeah, he'd have been in Vegas. So you need an attractive name, to fly people in. That's why. I
would have loved to have seen that though. Kell Brook against Mayweather. Kell Brook would have given him a good fight.
I mean, you could have.
I don't say he would have won.
Would have gave him a good fight. Yeah, I mean, all them young champions would have gave him a good fight. But that don't mean, yeah, mama. But that, Put it back. Oh, you want to do that? Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, but he won't go. You could argue all the young champions that would give him a good fight, but they wouldn't go produce the money that he was looking for. So it's like it's a different perspective when you Mayweather. It's all business with him. Business.
It's all business, and also he sort of got to the point where he had nothing else to prove, did he? He beaten
it was all about making as much money as I could before I get out the fight business. Yeah, because after he beat Pacquiao, that was it for him. It's like who else? What else is to prove? Like he had everybody in his era. Yeah, he fought. Yeah, Conor McGregor was $300 million.
No,
I'm fighting Conor McGregor too.
Mate, I made a video about it when it came out. I said, listen, people want to pay for it, they pay for it. Nobody's forcing anyone to pay for it, are they?
No, but the thing was this, though. Mayweather was like, he was never coming back to fight. He was never coming back to fight. Now, that fight presented itself and $300 million. Ooh, there's no way you can turn that down. No way.
Yeah. And both of them, like Mayweather and McGregor, to be honest, I think had sort of earned make that kind of money in the sense that they're like self-promotion, good characters.
Yeah,
pay for something, you don't pay for it. You can't
I don't think no other
have an option, pay for something, and then start whining about it.
Yeah, and I don't think no one would be that ballsy enough to talk shit to Mayweather like McGregor did. Like McGregor didn't give a fuck. That shit was entertaining. He talked some shit. It's
like a little mini Tyson Fury.
Yeah. He talked more shit than Tyson Fury. But Fury talks shit too. I like Fury, man. I can't wait to see him come back.
Yeah, all right, mate. Well, should we leave it there now for now? We've been talking for a while.
Yeah, we could. It was a nice show. It's a nice show. We got to do it again.
Yeah, definitely, mate. We'll do it again.
No doubt.
All right, mate. Well, maybe we'll get together the next week or so and talk about if Wilder comes through the Stiverne fight, which he probably will do.
Yeah, when Wilder comes
through. And maybe the landscape.
Yeah, well,
nothing's guaranteed.
Yeah, no doubt, man. You can keep it up though. For now, that's why I say we connect the UK with the USA and the UK to let them know it ain't too much tension. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Cut the tension in half a little bit until that Wilder and Joshua get made. Then all hell break loose.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Well, if that happens, then there's still other people. We still got Miller, Fury. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's still some hope out there.
Right, right.
So, well,
Yeah.
cheers for coming on.
Say it again.
Thanks for coming on.
Oh, no doubt, man. Anytime.
I'll speak to you later on.
All right, so have a good one.
Yeah. Bye.